Happy Veterans Day. This week we're going to be moving on to the kind of mechanics and rhythm of poetry. I had said in the last video that, we're going to look at this, and this can make poetry feel frustrating or like a math equation for people, but it's important for us to be able to hear the rhythm of words, and so that's what our exercise is doing this week. Before I talk about that, the module assignment 3, I noticed I have the wrong week listed for fall break. We have classes next week. So I'm going to update that, revise that, and post a new one by during my office hours tomorrow. So disregard everything on the assignment sheet that's in the module 3 folder right now. After this week, I'll update a new one. I'm going to have you guys look at 3 links, one about poetic form, one about scansion, and one about meter. And this is going to be talking about those things that you may have encountered in your high school and middle school English classes about, iambic pentameter and those kinds of things. So these are good resources to kind of give us maybe a refresher course, or if this is all new to you, to introduce us to these ideas. And then Blog 11 is going to ask you to practice listening to the rhythm of words. One of the challenges with this is that so much of it is flexible. So depending on our accents, our dialects, so Yankee girl coming from Ohio, I say guitar. So an unaccented and an accented syllable. So I say guitar as an iamb. My husband, who's Appalachian, says guitar. So he says it accented and then unaccented. So the exact same word, he says it as a trochee. I say guitar, he says guitar. Same word. So some of this might be flexible. You might list something as an iamb that somebody else lists as a trochee, and both can be correct depending on our accent. So these go over some of these very common rhythm patterns in words, like an iamb, unstressed, stressed, a trochee, where it's stressed and then unstressed, and then a spondee is where both are stressed, that we don't have an accent, an emphasis on either syllable. And then anapest and dactyl are when we're looking at the rhythm of 3 syllables. So an anapest is unaccented, unaccented, and then accented. And dactyl is the opposite, so it's accented and then 2 unstressed. So this is the exercise that we're going to do is pick, some kind of broad topic, like it says food or musical instruments or trees, animals, some kind of broad thing. And then trying to list as many iambs, trochees, dactyls, spondees as you can in that category. For example, if I picked names, the iamb of unstressed, stressed would be like Marie, Renee, Clarice. We don't say Murray, like, oh, here's my friend Murray. We don't say that. We say, here's my friend Marie, and we put that emphasis on that second syllable. Trochee with the stressed, unstressed would be names like Junior, Bubby, Sarah. Most of our kind of Western, English, German names, you notice that the ones I gave for iambs, the only ones I could think of were like French words, like Marie, Renee. Spondee are ones that, are equally stressed, like JR, CC. Some of our, examples like that might be JD. That is an iamb, right? We don't say JD, we say JD. But spondee would be ones where they have kind of equal emphasis, like JR. We don't say JR or JR. Anapest, unstressed, would be something like Mary Ann. But we might also say that Mary Ann. We might say that as a dactyl, depending on our accent. So the dactyl is the stressed un, like Emily, Abigail, Jacqueline. So part of the struggle is that we can say the same word differently, but also trying to figure out, how they are. I often have to tap it out. I have to over exaggerate. Like I don't say Marie, I say Marie, and I have to overemphasize it to hear what's being stressed and unstressed. And sometimes it's hard to pick it out. That's okay. This is just an exercise. And then list as many as you can for each of these categories, and then, write a reflection about it. So we still want that, 100 words. Was this hard? Was it easy? Were there some that, well, my mama says it as a dactyl, but I say it as a anapest? Those kinds of things. And these words, like the word apple is a trochee. Apple. We don't say apple. It's apple. We can put that into a line that is a trochaic, where it's all trochees, stressed, unstressed. Or we can put that into a line that is iambic. Let me see if I can swap this around. Nope, I guess not. So, for example, if I say apples ripen in the orchard, right? We don't say orchard. All of these are trochees. So I have, it's trochaic tetrameter. I have 4 trochaic feet. Apples ripen in the orchard. That's all trochaic. But if I put the word the in front of apple, I'm now making all this iambic. The apples ripen in the trees. I'm splitting words into syllables, but I'm turning that all into iambs where it's unstressed, stressed. The apples ripen in the trees. That's now that trotting iambic, unstressed, stressed. The apples ripen in the trees, as opposed to the trochees where apples ripen in the orchard. So these words can fit into lots of different rhythms when we put these, poetic feet together into a particular meter. And most of our modern poetry isn't written this way. It's almost like a mathematical puzzle. It's interesting to try to write this way, and I encourage you to try to write this way, just even to develop our ear. And the more you practice this, like everything, the easier it gets. And this is also a fun way to pass time when you're stuck in line at Walmart, or you're in traffic, or you're waiting in Subway for your veggie delight, to listen to the rhythm of words. And obviously, like the examples I have for French, they tend to have more iambs than we do with the unstressed stress, like soufflé. If you try to think of American foods, most of them are going to be trochees, where it's stressed and then unstressed. So play around with this. If this just is like agony and taxing, that's okay. You don't have to write these kinds of poems, certainly. But being able to gather the rhythm of words together in a line gives us power, and it makes the sound of the words visceral in the body. So if you want the sound of trotting horses in your poem, you can, and this is subtle, we don't actually realize it's happening, but we feel that rhythm as we're going along. So have fun with this week. And also there's an extra credit blog too, where you can write a poem of at least 6 lines in a specific meter. So if the iambs are easiest for you, then try to write a couple lines like this. And the extra credit blog should be posted as a separate blog, and you don't have to go and read other students' ones to post responses, although I certainly recommend that you look at some of these. So let me know what questions you have, and have fun with this. Try not to stress too much.